You know what? Latter-day Saints are so mean. Look, I'm here waking up, and a couple of nights ago, I saw one of their advertisements. Because right now, in Idaho, there are so many advertisements. I just counted in the past 3 weeks. 4 or 5. 4 or 5. 6. Possibly 7 new commercials, advertisements. And all of them are posted on YouTube. YouTube, which is separate from what would be categorized behind commercials, that is in a link, a chain underneath Idaho, but they're posted on YouTube for it to be in all regions. And some of them, I believe, with what I know, is that other territories outside of the US can actually, like, if the algorithm goes the way it goes, it can actually pop up on their screen when they contact or they pull up YouTube. And so recently there's this advertisement of this big, broad, wide set young woman sister, Indian, from India, Indian girl or Indian woman. She looks like she's barely 19. And I'm like, girl, first of all, you're stupid. Your family is stupid. What the heck happened to holding on to your culture? Like this is handing your complete culture over to a white culture. You know who started the Latter-day Saints? White people. And you know, they didn't really travel very far. They're still white. And you're in the west side of United States, which is one of the most racist places possible. Those things don't wash away in 20, 30 years. There were still racist or discriminating things that a bunch of us experienced who were not white and who were not Latter-day Saints in our own public schools associated with having Latter-day Saints be a part of the public school system, including the students. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh my God, the Latter-day Saints. Like, I'm talking like white men and their white children and wife. You know, that white man, or men, white men, and their children, their white children, and their wives. They are so mean. Look, you have an Indian family being told, right? Like it's like these white Latter-day Saint families are taking the underprivileged and then turning around to God and saying, well, here you go. We're handing over all these underprivileged families because there's no way that these families are going to become gods in the next lifetime, because these families, these Indian families, are not going to learn the Book of Mormon and all the other standard works, as well as a Latter-day Saint understanding their books in English. And so it's like appropriating this family, right? Making them look as mannered, behaved as possible. And even if they end up with some form of psychological delay here in the United States of America, because there's no form of providing these families with the correct amount of culture that they need and the correct amount of translation in their brain from one language to another, and not enough appropriate amount of time given outside of just talking to them underneath God's words, or in this case, getting to know a new guru, a new saint, Jesus Christ, and then the other guru friends and the warrior stories between them, with Alexander Douglas and Joseph Smith and Brigham Young, bringing in all these war modern time stories. And so you're not actually creating this miracle, Latter-day Saints, in creating a perfect human. And it's so mean to say you're perfect just the way you are by changing who they are and then turning around during one of those temple secret meetings, or in light of everybody during an announcement, and then pronouncing it to God that there, we are presenting to you this family to you. That's like someone meeting the president and being given a Medal of Honor. It's not just here's a random guy and he's kind of popular and we're having you be noticed by this person, and we're all here in support of you being welcomed, let's say, to this friendly group. Wow, you are taking away everything that this family needs to know, and making it into, well, we're being nicer people. And you know what's messed up about that is that if they truly, at best, truly believe that they are actually providing the father of this family the chance to become a god, I mean, first of all, whoa, a god. Because right now, he's a saint. And can meet all the other saints in this lifetime, this plane, this earth, and meet other brothers that are saints too, and other sisters that are saints too. Because he's an Indian man. He's an Indian man with the culture of a culture descriptive story that describes wise words being taken upon a human existence, and not needing to be taught while sitting on wooden benches or other forms of seating. And these white men here, Latter-day Saints, followers of Jesus Christ, or Latter-day Saints, the originals, see that, and because it's based on not being taught, they believe that these Indian families are walking saints, when all the Indians are saying from the India culture is that it is a part of their life. People speak words to be close to God because it's a part of being humble. Your mother could be saying eat this piece of this vegetable we like, and contemplate your day, because you are 7 years old right now, 8 years old, 9, 10 years old, and you're misbehaving. You understand that you are going to affect other children, and we don't want bad children. And then they hear that, those Latter-day Saints, and they instantly believe they're all saints. And it's like, no, they are teaching their children manners, and they have the culture heart connected to wise words, wise actions, and their story, their epic story about specific things that ground that country to be known as Indians, that are separate from the other countries, like right next to them, China. They're not Chinese, they're Indians. But the Latter-day Saints think that they're saints. And then I'm like, you guys have to be in a really mean, like you guys are not smart, are not nice to be telling that father, that Indian father, that you guys have have brought in because maybe they're scared about what is happening to the entire world. Not just India, the entire world, because Latter-day Saints have the politics for what is war in the entire world, in this United States of America, conversation and newsletters and all of the information about modern things that are happening regarding war steps or warlike things. And so it's the meanest thing to tell this father, because only men can become gods, that he's okay, call it coincidence and their stupidity. But just trust that I know the Indian background culture a little more to explain this. They're telling this father that he's going to become a god in the next life, which translates that he is going to be born in this next lifetime, right? The reincarnation, and be a god, which meaning he is going to be a god in his own household. Because that's the smallest world underneath the label underprivileged. And these Latter-day Saints, even if they understand that, they're going to say, oh, you're going to be a Baba once again. And then it's like you just freaking told him that he's going to be a god. Baba means a man that respects God. And he is not a saint in that household. He is a man protecting his family. It does not make him Jesus Christ. So you're lying to him. Either you're lying to him because you Latter-day Saints are aligning yourselves to be as important, becoming the man Jesus Christ. And then be given the green light, the approval by God to become your own God in the next lifetime, in your own world. And this is before any of the theories of Indians, of reincarnation. We're talking about the time of the East, when you guys became a collective one man and multiple wives. And the 70s and 80s, you guys are robbing all this form of reincarnation. And then modern times, where you guys are not sure. You guys have two stories, and let's see which one works. That's like creating two spells from your own white witchcraft culture, and then giving it time to see which one aligns with the real truth. And then you know what is so sad is that you make these family members, like the girl on this commercial, untrustworthy people. I can look at that commercial multiple times after this because it pops up in the algorithm, thank you Latter-day Saints, and not trust anything she has to say. That's truly looking at an Indian family that believes in truths, in truthful journey and steps, and tell them, because I believe what I'm saying right now. I believe what I have thought before. And guess what? I can tell this person to person, that I do not find them trustworthy, that their words do not have truth, and that they do not add joy or truth to my form of thinking. Because we're talking about a normal person thinking rationally and not aligning themselves with every step, every sign, everything based on Jesus Christ or God. There is a percentage that the brain has to identify visually and tactile that is based on logic and rationality, and not because it's just part of the culture of religious people and signs that they have collected in order to be more connected in a spiritual way, aligned with God or Jesus Christ or any other saint out there, that these Latter-day Saints say that they have the true theories that they now teach, have been teaching for the past 15 years, 12 years at BYU, Idaho, Brigham Young universities. That's Alexander Douglas and friends. That's the Great Pearl Price. And that's Brigham Young's. All different forms, prophets. That means 3 different psychological brains thinkings about war, and war that is modern, that has expanded. It's the middle of war, expanded, and is in the collection, the collectiveness of reaching the middle point of doomsday. And what I'm going to add to that is that I don't like that you guys build your wards with red brick, with white as your peaks, to mimic other Jesus Christ religions. You call them wards. And then you build your big white all fancy stone big temple that is so massive that all that can be said, right? It's all bulk. All that can be said is that in each compartment, you are collecting modern collected things that Latter-day Saints have come up with to represent signs of Latter-day Saint religion. Because you guys have said that none of the signs, nothing in the outworld is true. Which means that you, as missionaries, have gone to other religions and other cultures that, in theory, still have religion in them. And you guys have become thefts. You have taken from each culture and have taken it to meetings so that you can deliberate whether it is true or not, and then have made it into a configuration of a Latter-day Saint truth. Sorry, that's me becoming political because you all Latter-day Saints, followers of Jesus Christ, believe it to be a truth of the world. You're not going to convince everybody else. Because for everybody else, it is a truth of the Latter-day Saints for the Latter-day Saints. And then you become the same people, right? The one topic that even me as a junior high student gets hurt by thinking about, because it is known, if I don't have truth and they all have the truth, then it means that Jesus Christ, who saved the world, doesn't have room for me unless I become a Latter-day Saint follower of Jesus Christ. And every single one of the Latter-day Saint students always talked about, well, yeah, it's true. Our temple is closed off to everybody in the Latter-day Saints unless they are true members and they have their designated scheduled visit. And that's a big step to being closer, becoming closer, living closer to Jesus Christ. Sure is a saint somewhere in there, but to God in a saint, Latter-day Saint version of taking more steps than the other Latter-day Saints to go up this circular stairway or square, or I don't know what other shapes they have to walk in order to meet God, to become God, to be there saved by God, to then proceed to their next power, their next ability, special power ability. Did y'all read up on those special psychic abilities of the Indians? Because now it's like the Latter-day Saints are saying, we made it official. We made it official. We brought in some Indian families to bring them into this third eye war with other cultures, because we white people, we accepted that we are bad people, and we got ourselves together, and now we're the best compared to everybody else, because everybody else is in the doomsday cultures with and I'm sure there's Latter-day Saints who are gonna bring in all the different gang culture associated with colors and the countries, the country zones. And then it's like now you're trying to become gatherers of things that the government and people already know. This isn't the most new news. And you want everyone to start clapping and announcing to the Latter-day Saints that they know the real truth by making it official, because now the Latter-day Saints are the ones to discover this truth. So I just had to say that, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of money for an Indian father to say, I can be reborn again as a father to my wife. My wife's children. Sorry, he doesn't become a father to his wife. That's just announcing that he becomes a more knowledgeable man to be able to protect his wife. And that can happen with the guidance of any master. And it's just really effed up to say that your master is a white American man that is Latter-day Saint. Because it ain't gonna be Jesus walking down from that cross to start teaching you stuff. So it's kind of messed up to say, yes, I will be reborn and I will be a good man to my wife and my children, which means that you're just announcing to everybody that you're an abusive or abusive in being a stupid man. To the big percentage that is white in your ward, in your church, because I doubt you guys have a big community of Indian family members that are also Latter-day Saints. Okay, Baba, I'm just a little worried about the decisions that leaves basically your wife completely left unsafe to other white men, and their white wives that have no idea what your culture is about. My dad is very well educated about his own culture with an equivalence of a master's degree in education, and can be equal psychologically to a graduated and practicing doctor. Not just one, not just the Latter-day Saint, Dr. Mumford from Idaho, that is Latter-day Saint and is in New Zealand, but other doctors that treat cancer children and cancer adult patients. And each doctor knowing a lot, as equal as Dr. Mumford, who knows the Spanish and the Spanish cultures, as equal to what this Dr. Mumford is saying, knowing about, and then still academically adding. My dad said it's like being left behind by a 70%. That means that everything that Dr. Mumford knew and was meeting in friendship conversation with my father about things that he knew of the Latin or Spanish historical things that are part of culture. My dad, which is also well versed in the other Spanish countries, the politics, is agreeing with certain things, and then later on, when our family comes back to it, he's like, oh, well, that could convince you, that could convince your mom or you, but he's not actually providing this much. And then my dad explains a portion of it for us to take in, and then he's providing us with more perspective, and then we learn, okay, well, the other things that you're adding, that's true, none of it actually can be added to this conversation. That is a big, because each new chunk of information is dense, which does bring it up to 70%. And that's in theory for that one time, because he's like, and I can add more to that, which means that each conversation lacks about 70% of information that creates an actual moment of culture compared to a conversation. So I'm just saying, I don't know what y'all families from other cultures thinking when you guys are accepting that you guys are equal. Like, that's just telling other people that are not Latter-day Saints that you have a very big ego. In America, that is not a good thing. Because even the Latter-day Saints say that they are training you in having confidence in yourselves, and as I know that proves that they are wanting you to have confidence in becoming white appropriated. Because as much as I know from other cultures, there is more there in confidence of your own culture and existence that astounds the white Latter-day Saints. And that's not fair. That's not fair. It's called robbing. Another thesaurus equivalence word, vocabulary word, could be called stealing, or another thesaurus vocabulary word could be called theft. That's just a big problem. It's like every piece of culture that is brought through an item to be hidden by a very thick fabric of blankets, and then telling you from the other culture to walk from a different path that has you never to discover that item because you're following their nice manner rules and learning something that was created from one group, not the entirety, because you're telling you we're all the same. No, there's so much. There's like 99% besides stating that we know who Jesus Christ is for our own reasons. And then for you guys to be monitored in case one of those items from your culture become like an evil artifact. If they're not just bluntly telling you to your faces that it's an evil artifact.